hired Tim at Tanita, the NETS consultant.
NETS is the Newborn and Paediatric Emergency Transport Service. It's a service providing critical care transport for babies, infants and children who need to be in a different hospital from the one they were born in or that they came to when they suffered their injuries or developed their illness.
Not really, it was after a bottle. She had a burp, a bit of a spew, went to sleep, put her in the pram, and that's when I realised. She had what they call a blue spell, and it's where her lips have gone blue, but then her whole face has gone like a grey silver colour.
This is a condition called Fallot's tetralogy, which is a heart condition, and at the moment the problem is that there's restricted supply of blood to the lungs. So the lungs are working well, but the heart's just not really delivering enough blood to receive that oxygen.
Mixed emotions. I don't want to see my kid in that type of predicament. I know she's a strong little girl. I know she's going to get out of it, you know what I mean? Everything's going to go, yeah, good.
Every year we move about 2,700 babies and children. A little more than half are children and the rest are newborn babies. Putting it another way, 1 in 49 travels with NETS sometimes during their childhood.
I've been flying for CareFlight for just over a year, but I've been doing this work with NETS with ChildFlight previously, and I was doing it for 9 years before that, so it's about 10 years now in the same job. It's very satisfying, it's a rewarding job. The interaction we have with the teams is quite good here, the pilots and the nurses and the doctors here. It's just a very, very satisfying job. You don't have a major hierarchy difference between the pilots and the other medical staff. We all seem to work together as a team to strive to get the mission completed safely.
There are some times when it does seem pretty scary. You're working with people that you don't know very well, with equipment that you aren't necessarily that familiar with in different hospitals. So it really kind of stretches your competence and confidence, I think, working in random places, different places every day with different people.
These guys have just had their little baby boy, which they've called Henry. He's about 4 or 5 hours old now, and the local doctors here noticed after he was born that he was having a little bit of trouble with his breathing. So we've come along to have a look at him, see what we think might be going on, and to take him from here, which, I mean, they're fantastic doctors and nurses here, but they're just not set up for this kind of patient. So we'll take him from here to one of the other bigger centres, and that could be the Dubbo or Sydney, depending on what level of support we think he needs.
Pretty much we were booked in for 39 weeks for the C-section. Everything was going fine, and it still is. We've had great support here with the midwives and great support with the doctors. So as they told us, this is only all precautionary.
Just when he was born, he had a lot of mucus and fluid, and took a bit in, and that's why we did.
But you definitely can't complain with the service we've had, and these guys now, they're so thorough, they've explained everything, and
it's all precautionary.
Yeah, it's just precautionary.
So I just had a chat with NETS base. That's the way we work. We go through our base and then we talk to whichever hospital's available. Little Henry's got a bed in Westmead Children's Hospital in Sydney. Yeah. So yeah, just there's Dubbos, not got space.
Basically it's hit us like a bomb, but you know what I mean? Everything's just come rushing in and you think, what do I do? How do I attack it, you know what I mean? How do I fix it?
So I think we're stable enough to leave for Sydney now. We've managed to get her into the incubator without any problems. I was just a little bit worried that she might drop her saturations, which is her oxygen levels a little bit, but she tolerated that well. So all in all, she seems quite stable. I was just thinking about flying. I think flying is a good option, firstly because it means that we'll get to Sydney quicker. If it is the case that we can go in the helicopter, then we'll be chatting with the pilots to see if they can fly slightly lower so that that affects her less.
Nets actually saves lives. Without nets, a lot of these children would not even leave to go to a bigger hospital, and some of them would die along the way.
Just putting little mini muffs on, just hearing protection for when he's in the helicopter. Fairly straightforward pregnancy, no problems, no gestational diabetes.
Okay,
so 39 weeks.
Yeah.
4.2 kilos.
Yeah.
No problems with the pregnancy. A touch of hypertension towards the end, just in the last week, but nothing dramatic. Previous cesarean, so elective section this morning at about 8:30.
In the early days, when a sick child or premature baby needed the care of a children's hospital, staff would basically bundle them in an ambulance and ask them to drive as fast as possible, and the newspaper, if it ever came to the attention of the press, would say Mercy Dash saves life. The reality was that often that wasn't true, and children and babies died in those valiant efforts to get them to the right place of care. And I was involved in a lot of that, and I thought to myself, really, we should be turning that around and taking the expertise as fast as possible to the child. And that's the way retrieval was born.